All right. Hello and welcome to the weekly Wednesday Lunchtime live stream
Hello
here
and
on
welcome
to the weekly Wednesday Lunchtime live stream
Hello
here
and
on
welcome
to the weekly Wednesday Lunchtime live stream
Hello
here
and
on
welcome
to the weekly Wednesday Lunchtime live stream. It auto unmuted. Okay, so I've learned something today. Don't put your anniversary page on your own live stream. Hello, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. I have no idea what you're talking about. This show just started, and there was no problem whatsoever. Welcome, everybody. We have got a lot to talk about, and also we're going to be on Thelanis running the anniversary event in a little bit. It is exciting times in DDO because yesterday we dropped some news bombs. First off, www.ddo.com/masterminds of Sharn. ddo.com/masterminds of Sharn, and you too can find out things like this. This is going to be our pre-sale page, which we have announced is going up in March. And unfortunately, it's not scrolling very well for me on Twitch here. But you can check out the URL yourself. It gives you a little bit of a hint on what to expect. So we want to make sure we get that URL out. ddo.com/masterminds of Sharn. That's where you're going to want to stay tuned in the coming weeks. On top of that, however, we have got the other one here, which is the 13th anniversary page. I'm not going to call it up again, but the anniversary event kicked off yesterday. And where do I got that? Just a second here. I called up the date so I wouldn't be wrong. Through March 13th. So it kicked off yesterday, and it runs through March 13th, and that's the anniversary challenge event. We have some new items and stuff that we'll talk about here and perhaps show off a little bit. The other thing you want to do is bookmark ddo.com/13th anniversary. ddo.com/13th anniversary. Besides having the exact date and location of where to find this thing, if you're looking for the anniversary event, it's where we're going to be putting up a bunch of anniversary-related gift codes. And that's going to be starting tomorrow. We're going to be putting up a bunch of codes for the anniversary freebie, I guess you could say, this year. The anniversary gift this year. There's a whole bunch of variants of the thing. And so rather than dump a bunch of those variants and everything into inventory or deal with kind of inventory and versioning and all that sort of thing, it actually made a lot of sense this year to go with coupon codes. So what we're going to do is every Thursday we're going to debut a new coupon code for the next 13 weeks. Now, if you see the item on Thursday and your gift and the gift and you're like, I don't really think I like that, that's fine. You don't have to redeem it. And if you like it but you only want maybe one or two of them or whatever, that's fine too. You can use one or two codes. Each of them will be one per account, and it'll have a lengthy expiration date. I think we're tentatively targeting something maybe like the end of the year or something like that. And then every Thursday, you'll get a new code that you can use to get another variant. So if you are a completionist and you want to collect all of the thing, then you'll be able to do that pretty easily without having to worry about making, well, which choice am I going to make and all that sort of thing. You'll get all of it. But if you only want a couple of them, then you don't have to deal with getting one of everything or that sort of thing. So that's how we're doing it this year, and that's going to be kicking off Thursday as well. It'll actually be kicking off during the live stream, and again, that is ddo.com/13th anniversary. We even have Twitch chat embedded into that page, unless you guys make me delete it. And that's where you can find the live stream as well. So that's why our numbers have been actually pretty good here on Twitch. So I think embedding it into ddo.com is putting in front of some more eyeballs, as it were, and so that's pretty cool. And if you are new to DDO Stream, having just kind of followed a link or what have you, welcome. We really appreciate you being here. Normally it is slightly more professional than this. But we're in for a good time. So there is one piece of news though related to tomorrow's live stream that I wanted to make sure I got the word out about, and that is that in the Massachusetts area, they are expecting snow. Yes, snow. Granted, they're only saying 2 to 4 inches, but anyone who has lived or traveled through Massachusetts when it's received 4 inches of snow will probably attest to the fact that it becomes pure chaos. And of course, if the school shut down, that's going to be a challenge for some parents on the DDO team. Nonetheless, we will be streaming from noon until midnight regardless. If I have to stream it from home, by golly, I'm going to do that, and there's no reason I couldn't do that. It would actually be pretty easy. And on top of that, we're going to have a lot of the DDO team members join us on a Discord. That way they can actually be playing in the game client while on Discord rather than, say, in front of a camera and that sort of thing. And that could be done from home as well. So regardless of what the weather is tomorrow, we will be streaming. I just don't know if it's going to be from the office here or from our individual homes, theoretically. So there are a bunch of new items for the anniversary event. While I'm talking here, I'm kind of scrolling through some of the new stuff. This also, yes, this does explain the news that I guess I will get to in a second. Does explain the why we have a light crossbow this year. Linabel's Bug Killer, yes, it's multiple versions of the same kind of thing. It's just, it's a joke item. The only exception is a new medium armor that I don't actually have to admit I don't know too much about. Double strike, spell lore, okay. Accuracy is always good, especially heading into like Reaper and stuff. And of course the goodies are all back this year as well. One of the things I'm going for this year is I'm actually going to be going for the Sentient Gem of the Kobold. Additionally, I want the level 25 and the level 30 version of the motherboard here, because I'm actually, now that I've got a Tower Shield user into epic levels, I've realized that I'm really lacking in decent epic level Tower Shields. And so getting this motherboard's definitely on my agenda here for this particular event. Then you got all the various forum posts and all that sort of thing are back again this year. The Banhammer's back, Broccoli Basher, the Eternal Flask of Icy Pumpkin Coffee, Soothing Happy Calm Times Coffee, and Bold Blend Coffee are all there as well. The D12, which teleports you to Stormreach, similar to like the Key to Evening Star and that sort of thing, is available. And then finally we've got the other stuff that's been available for quite some time. And yes, I will be swapping the scene here in just a little bit. So. Alright, before I get to the rest here, let me get to our Twitch chat, or our various chats here, see what's going on. I have not heard, Donna on Facebook, of any further Force Energy items in the works. Temporary banhammer and permanent banhammer, that's pretty funny. Whoa, greetings from Vietnam, nice. English, I've been playing about 8 years. Thanks, Aaron, on YouTube for being here. Everything from the event sucks other than the Kobold Gem. Well, that's fine. So Craig RPH is saying when you open the DDO store, then open the inventory screen. If you close the inventory screen, you close the DDO store. I believe that is sort of not exactly intentional, but is sort of a byproduct of some of our kind of anti-exploit tech that is in place in the game. So I think that's just sort of the way it is. Going to have a dev stream about Tiefling and 2x2 Bow Inquisitor. Not this week. I actually had to think about what I was going to do this week for the live stream, and I ultimately decided not to focus on Lamania. It's just a little too spoilery for perhaps the somewhat wider audience that I have for the show. And there's also some other things where it's in a particularly early state on Lamania. So I'd rather, for the official sort of video of it, I prefer it to be in a little bit different state than it is now. But yes, that brings me to the final piece of news before we go to the anniversary event. Lamania opened yesterday with a whole bunch of cool stuff. You can head to the Lamania forums. You can read the release notes. They have things like the Inquisitive. There's the iconic Tiefling Scoundrel. There is the Tiefling, and a whole bunch of other stuff too. And you can check that stuff out on the Lamania forums and see it right now on Lamania. And as a matter of fact, tonight, if you're watching this live, tonight on Lamania, Wednesday night, there's going to be a dev hangout. At least probably Kokoma Jobo and some other folks are going to be hanging out on Lamania tonight, Wednesday night, for a preview to really get some good feedback from y'all. And then, of course, they'll see us again on Thursday. So the Lamania preview will be shut off on Thursday as well. But you can read all about that on the DDO forums. Yep, Linabill's Bug Killer basically has multiple versions of the same Vermin Bane, which is pretty hilarious. I enjoy it. I want to say this as well as I'm heading into the anniversary event. Some of you, perhaps due to work and life schedules and what have you, have not had an opportunity to run this yet. And so I want to assure you that while there will be a few kind of spoilers just due to what it is, I'm going to keep it relatively spoiler light and not go through all the new dialogue and things like that. I may point out a few things, but I will try to keep it pretty spoiler light. So, all right, let's start in at top level of 16, and then we'll just go up from there. I'm just reading Twitch chat. This is why you don't stick an embedded stream on your website. Nice. Oh, we have a level 17 in here? I thought I just... well, whatever. We'll go in on 16 and then we'll pop it up for the next one.
Block a kobold from entering the anniversary party. The excited creature waves to you.
Scragno, you! You helped Scrag in harbor!
The kobold points inside.
Find evil overlord! Stop kobolds and peoples from fighting!
Let me actually clear out a few things from my active list here. I seem to be chugging down my computer just slightly, so... Let me close out some windows and such. All right. Let's see if that's any better. So I will point out that in the room over here there is some new stuff. I will let you see it. There's also some new stuff here over on the table. Some new dialogue options and things like that. Yes, in Titan, I had 102 viewers when I was absolutely not screwing up the start of the live stream. I have no idea what you're talking about. That never happened. And now I'm much less. So, living proof that you too can drive away a third of your audience.
I know. Next time I'll try a different rune arm. Or maybe a crossbow.
Any hint on the code gift for this year? So I go back and forth on that. I'm not opposed to giving you a hint, but at the same time, I don't think people really want me to tell you what the anniversary gift is. I think that would be a mistake. I think you should just wait till tomorrow and find out. This, the Cordovan fight is new this year. It's got some green slime and some broccoli involved. If you want to find a little bit more about that, it was actually pretty, they're just due to our scheduling right now, we don't have a Tuesday night show on DDO Stream. And so when I got home last night, I was really excited to start running the anniversary event on this character, on Thelanis, because I'm looking to get the Cobalt Sentient Jewel, and so I'm going to need to run the event a fair amount this year. And I decided to live stream it last night and did provide a little bit of insight on the Cordovan fight. So if you want to watch the highlight of that from last night, you can find out a little bit more about how that came about. Again, I'm not going to show you what it does, but there's a couple things here I should point out. That mysterious device and the tourist brochures is probably something you're going to want to skim the text through. There's some new NPC activity on the other side of the platform here worth checking out. Eldorudo's got the best dialogue. I'm not going to spoil that. You definitely need to click on that. It may have created a phrase that will be permanently entering my lexicon. March is a long month. Any specifics? Internally, we've got some ideas and we've got some plans, but we're just not ready to formally announce that stuff yet. Sorry. As we're heading into the Lichabel fight, it is worth mentioning that there is a bug that is going to be impacting this year's event. Let me, while you guys just hang out just a quick second, let me call up the post by Steelstar here. This is relevant to your interests. So, we're doing something a little different. We had to fix an issue that cropped up with the anniversary event, but it's kind of a bug in your favor. So, let me see if I can find that. Here we go. Oops, nope, not that one.
The creature emits a guttural groan and collapses.
We've been too chatty. I can't find my thing. Nerfed party favor rate. That's the thread. Okay, so here's what's going on. Our intent was, I'll actually just drop the URL into chats, so that you too can read along with Cordovan. Which is something you probably don't want to do, but that's fine.
Harbor Master Zinn motions for you to stop. The kobolds have taken over the chapter house. No one is allowed back there until...
Our intent was that you would get 50% more ingredients per point star than last year for a total of 8 on normal at level run and 12 on a fully optimized run. That's, 5 levels over with all the stuffs. However, we ran into 2 issues. That it was not granting the 50% extra, and the new Lichabel boss was not granting a point like it should. So, what we have done is we have adjusted the things on the live server so that you get 2 ingredients at level for every point. That means that on an at-level run, you would get 8, and at a fully optimized run, you'll get 12. You still will not get any extra ingredients for the Lichabel boss for the time being. So, kind of bug in your favor if you want to max. If you're into the maxing things out, the grind will be slightly less this year. But, so let me be the first to officially say on Twitch that I find it amusing that Linabel is bugged. And I may have let Linabel know that being bugged amuses me. I have a pretty good sense that Linabel is going to be joining me tomorrow evening for probably an extended hangout on Twitch, and I think you are probably aware that hanging out with Linabel is a very good time, so you'll want to stay tuned for that tomorrow. Hey, Sarah over on Facebook. Nice to see you here. Any plans about an achievement system? It's something that has been discussed internally, but not really made it past the discussion stage. Perhaps at some point we will. Yeah, keep it a surprise, only a day away. Exactly right. I'm not going to say what the gift is. Let's just say that it rhymes with nuclear reactor. No, I'm kidding. I'm feeling pretty burdened right now. There is a new fight, as you can see in this corner. I noticed there's one of the random chest pops over there too sometimes. But there is another battle if you would like it. Alright. I am not jumping around the servers to give out stuff today, Fire the Dragon Leader. I will be doing some of that tomorrow. I always go through a mix of wanting to just kind of do, quote, regular questing and hanging out and getting nuts on the live servers. I think either of those perhaps gets a little long to watch if that's all that happens. So I want to make sure I split things up this year. And it takes a while to get through all 8 servers. It really does. But like I said, I think what I'm going to start off with is the more European-centric servers, so that I can hit their prime time over in Germany and France and that kind of thing. And then I'm going to skip around, so I won't be going alphabetical this year. DDO's a teenager now. You're shocked, Carnassus, that the number 13 didn't have a bigger impact this year, given the importance of the number 13 in Eberron lore.
Kobolds scamper through the seats of the darkened kingdom.
Are the codes for bound to character stuff? It'll be bound to account. The item you get will be bound to account. However, I believe it is only basically 1 per server. So that is another reason we decided to go with 13 coupon codes rather than say 1 item and try to work out the perfect scenario that fits with a variety of different needs. So this should actually work out the best, hopefully, for everybody.
Peer down an open trapdoor.
You go down! You lost it!
Says one to the other.
You go!
1 centimeter in the UK shuts the country down. Yeah. But yes, the codes should be for a bound to account item. No, I'm not too worried, Shoemaker, about moderation tomorrow. If worse comes to worse, I'll just, slow down Twitch chat or something if I have to. But it should be fine. And the DDO community has always been great for these anniversary live streams. And I expect the same to happen this year. So I do want to do that, quote, dev stream about Tiefling and Inquisitor and such, but I'm just not ready to do it quite yet. Oh, is that true about the quest text mentioning Vargwheel still? Yeah.
Spot the new dark overlord of all the kobolds standing atop the throne.
I believe character transfer is available to Lamania. I haven't heard of it not being available. I did see a report on the Lamania forums that someone had successfully done it, so I assume character transfer is working correctly on Lamania. I have not heard if it is not, so let me know. But like I said last night, I personally was busy on running the anniversary event and streaming it. So
All right, sighs Malicia.
I'll help you with your pathetic little friend.
Now to return to Jeets and delve inside his mind.
Is it possible to create a bag for cosmetic items? That comes up fairly regularly, particularly during times like this, where, you know, we've got stuff coming and that sort of thing.
The Jeets you know
It's something we want to do. That's about the best I could say. Is it is something we would absolutely do want to do at some point, is have a cosmetic bag. It's just a matter of making it function correctly. That's the challenge. So I do have, I hear some good news, though, to pass along in the near future for those who are feeling a little pressed for inventory, so that should be a good thing. Greetings from Chile. Any plans to revamp the Pale Master Tree or the Archmage? I would say yes on both of those. No time frame to announce, but it is something we would like to do on each of those things. A broccoli basher at lower than level 25? Yeah, I'd be down for that too. Let's pop back in on 18, huh? So, to the question, any exact date on when on the Sharn pre-purchase is not yet. Not
The
yet.
excited creature waves to you.
Scrag know you! You helped Scrag in harbor!
The kobold points inside.
Find evil overlord! Stop kobolds and peoples from fighting!
The coin lords raise a glass to you as you enter.
Add the dev monsters to the monster manual. Historically, I've had this conversation several times, but historically we try to be careful. There was a point where it was no, and now it's a no except. But for the most part, we try to avoid putting event mobs in the monster manual. Just as sort of a philosophy. Although it's a philosophy we've broken. So, you know. Like anything in DDO, it has its inconsistencies sometimes.
Next
But
time I'll try a different rune arm, or maybe a crossbow.
have we ever considered a rank title for every level, like how the old first edition AD&D had in the Player's Handbook and other books containing character ranks? It's come up. It's a really cool idea. What's a nuclear reactor? Oh, that's the best. Any news of the producer's letter? Soon. We'll have more as soon as we can get more information and get that producer's letter published. I promise you we will. I just don't have.
You see a perfectly ordinary door.
You would just like to point out that the premise of this event is silly, since when would a succubus object to being the focus of someone's lust? When that someone is annoying and Jeets. That's the thing, right? It's not that Militia doesn't like attention, although she prefers probably not to mention, meddle in mortal affairs for the most part. But, let me see if I can do this without dying. But I think she found it kind of insulting to be sort of all this nonsense that Jeets did for her. But really, it's really a lot of this. It's not directly fourth wall breaking, but some of it is. But some of it isn't. It's really just kind of a fun event, and so we play around with some of the most popular characters from DDO history, and I've just kind of put them together in a fun story. Where and when can we find these promo codes? Thursdays for the next 13 weeks. That'll be on DDO.com/13th anniversary. DDO.com/13th anniversary. I'm just going to res myself. For the purposes of better watching, I will just res myself. Okay, still scrolling through chat. We have a nice active chat room today. That's very nice. Will there ever be familiars for mages? It's something I think that we would like to do someday, but we have not really moved it on beyond that point.
The kobolds are back there.
I'm way behind on chat. That's true. Yeah. That DM throat clear cracks me up. That door is so knockback. It really is. Let me also say, the anniversary event is great for first-time XP, and great for collectibles as well. So, even if you don't want to run it for items, you might want to run it for those things. I think it's just pretty much a given that you need to run the event at least once when it's on for that XP, that delicious challenge XP. The fact that Vargweel was replaced with Lichabel, does that mean that Vargweel is no longer a dev at SSG for DDO? It is true. It is true. Vargweel is currently working for another company on a different project. Will there be an ultimate fan bundle for Sharn? Probably. I would assume we would do something like that. Stay tuned. Yeah, nice spicy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Alright, back to YouTube chat. Yeah, you can confirm character transfer is working on Lamania. Good to know. If we turn in the first code, we don't get any more? No. All 13 codes will be independent of each other. Each one is one per account. But that's why we're doing it that way. That's why we're doing 13 separate codes rather than, say, one code with 13 uses, or trying to find a way to version that in the game or deal with sort of some kind of NPC turn-in system. And what about those who want a lot? What about those who only want one? What about those who don't want? So we think... It's only taken us 13 years, but we think we found a really good delivery system for this year's anniversary gift. And hopefully you'll like it too. But yeah, so all the codes are independent. One per use per account. And you can use as many or as few of those 13 as you wish. And it'll take 13 weeks if you really want to get them all. Like right away. It's almost like we were like, well, that'll extend the party. That sounds cool. Solves problems and is fun? Can we do such a thing? There we go. Once a DDO dev, always a DDO dev. It's the emotional scarring that it causes. No, I'm kidding. Just tell us the first code. As a matter of fact, I can't. One of the things that all of you and I are doing today is coming up with those code names. We know what it's going to be. We just need to come up with the names for them. Good suggestion, Loaf Beef, about adding more level 30 plus collectibles. I would imagine that that would be something we would do in the future. I haven't heard of any plans for that, but that would make sense. So why is Torque a rust monster? If I recall, it was when he came back to the DDO team with SSG here. You know, it had been a while since he had worked on DDO code or worked on DDO at all, because he'd been doing, you know, quite a few other projects. And so I think when it was like, well, what should Torque be? I think that that's why he's a rust monster. It's just that, you know, he came back and he was a little rusty at the time that he made his debut. He's clearly not, but and he clearly wasn't even then. But, you know, but I think that that's the joke of it. And for those who don't know, these skeletons down here that each have names tend to be former members of the DDO team who have moved on to other projects and stuff like that. So you get banished to be a undead skeleton in the basement when you are no longer on the team. Why is the description for the bug killer listing the vermin bane 4 times? I think it's just a joke. It's basically, you know, it's one of those kind of anti-bug things, which is like, I'm going to kill it so dead, I don't care if it doesn't stack. It's just going to keep dying and dying and dying. I think it's just a joke as to the why 4 times in a row. I assume it doesn't stack.
Malicia uses her arcane powers to open a pathway leading into the mind of Jeets.
Sorry, man. Decissimus about the rose-colored goggles. We were pretty clear that the rose-colored goggles were going to get a nerf. We even had a forum thread about it. But I am sorry that you were impacted by that.
It's very clear.
Will Masterminds of Sharn be free to VIP members? I am sorry. The answer is no. It will be an expansion.
The dark form approached your
But we do have the producer's letter coming very soon, and that will have a lot more information for VIP players, of interest to VIP players and Season Pass holders. Those fresh days when you haven't ransacked this chest yet, huh? Yep. A joke on items people have to grind for hours to get? That's messed up. Clearly, King, you have not heard of the anniversary event. That is the entire point. That all these items kind of break the fourth wall and are more fun than functional. Although some of them are very functional as well. But the whole thing is kind of a bunch of jokes. On the forums, they said they stack. That'd be amazing if it did. 4 separate procs? Well, okay. There you go. All right. Has the DDO team shrunk? No, not at all. They're just kind of natural turnover that you see with any kind of job. All right, let's bump it up to 20. The thing is, where in game do you need a throwing weapon that kills rats? Well, I don't know, but if you need to, now you're set. Yeah. there are some rats in the game. Any hints on new sentient gems or new filigrees? No hints, other than to say I can tell you for sure I know we have new filigrees coming in Sharn. You are Cordovan? Question mark? Yes. Yes, that is I. Welcome.
The kobold points inside.
Find evil overlord! Stop kobolds and peoples from fighting!
The coin lords raise a glass to you as you enter the grand ballroom.
Yeah, just to be clear, there are some actual real nice items in this anniversary event. But the lore, the idea, the philosophy behind the items is really humorous and fun and lighthearted and probably an in-joke. Or at least a somewhat public in-joke, as it were. And sometimes not so public in joke. There's a whole bunch of jokes to be had in this. This thing is chock full of references to DDO history, both internal and external. It's fantastic. I love it.
A dark figure beckons to you. Welcome, he cries.
Plus, I'm gonna guess. I don't know. Or do I know? I might know, but I'm not going to say. I'm going to guess that there may well be some giant rats in the cogs of Sharn. It is a big city, after all. And I just keep getting held, frozen, knocked over. Oh, what the heck? Stop incapping me!
Make it out, but you think it was something like, not cool.
Oh, I'm helpless. Could anyone toss me like some kind of restore or something like that? Will the weekly prizes be bound to account or bound to character? Bound to account. I'm sorry, I can't estimate as to how many people play every day. That's kind of internal metrics we're not allowed to discuss. There's like 5 people, and they multi-box a lot.
Brooding on a throne, surrounded by skulls.
I'm just gonna focus on... Who should I focus on? Who's running around less? They're both running around too much. Alright.
The vanquished warrior gives you one last defiant look. Next time, it won't be so easy. You see a perfectly ordinary door.
Sorry, Rosie Minx. It looks like, I don't know where you are. You're probably, presumably, maybe west of Massachusetts somewhere. We're expected to get about, they're saying 2 to 4 inches of snow, but that could be anything from a dusting to 6 inches. Starting this evening in the Massachusetts area. So that could impact our, sort of the way we execute the anniversary live stream tomorrow, which will be Thursday, noon to midnight Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/DDO stream. We're going to be hanging out for 12 hours, having fun, in-game, out-of-game. I'm sure I'll get Seven for some Q&A, and the devs are going to be joining me, probably even for some dungeon running. Should be a good time, so. That'll be noon to midnight Eastern, snow or shine, or snow or not snow on DDO stream.
The creature emits a guttural groan and collapses.
Have they ever told how they got you with the quote, not cool, cool? So, for whatever reason, I like to say the word, rather than say like, cool, I go, cool, cool. And the reason I do that is because if you say cool once, it's just sort of like a, cool, hey, what? We go, cool, cool. It adds an extra layer of, hey, this is cool to it. And so that's why I tend to use that phrase, cool, cool. And for whatever reason, it just made sense to have my last breath be not cool, cool.
The harbor master nods at the door. The kobolds are back there. Maybe you can do something with them.
Torin over on YouTube. Will follow ever be implemented? You know, it's kind of funny as I play Lord of the Rings online, I run into that more often now. I don't know that we would do a DDO is a different sort of game than a lot of the other MMOs that have more traditional follow commands. I'm not sure that it would make sense for DDO, but perhaps someday. How does it feel to kill yourself over and over? It's just fine. I love the anniversary event. I'm honored to be a part of it. I really am. Someday, perhaps, Cordovan should be replaced by a different dev. But I will take the honor for as long as it is bestowed upon me. Do you ever play on your own time or just for us? Nope, I absolutely do play on my own time. I've been playing on my own time since 2006. I will admit that, you know, my just play hours have decreased somewhat since 2006. Just due to the fact that my work hours and that also take up time. But
Kobold shamans
I still love to play the game.
You not like kobolds here? Now you know how kobolds feel when you
Like I said, I got back last night after basically working on DDO and such all day, and then I was just like, man, I want to run that anniversary event. So that's what I did last night. Yeah. I had a spinach and feta cheese spanakopita, and then I got as many party favors as I could get in a couple hours. Olive View, that's a very good point. Olive View is not in the anniversary event that I'm aware of. We definitely need to make sure Olive View gets in next year. Yeah, you know, ever since the kind of cool thing became associated with me a little bit. I hear from other people who do it too, so I know I'm not the only one who says cool, cool. How big is the DDO team? Can't really get into numbers, sorry. The pink and yellow stands out. I know, I love this outfit. I really love my current outfit on this character. I've gone through a whole bunch of various variations, but this is the one that I'm really digging right now. I've got the nice reflecting shades and that cool gold with that awesome cloak. Although I'm probably going to end up getting a new cloak here fairly soon because, you know, we got Sharn coming out and stuff, but yeah. I have an echo? Okay, that's muted. I mean, I'm just doing a quick mute check. All right, that's good. Hey, maybe perhaps there was something on someone's end where they've got up the 13th anniversary page. Yeah. The reason I have it set to, I chose to set it to play when you load the page, so it's in many ways my fault. Although I thought it would preserve whether the player was muted, which it does not apparently. But the reason I chose to do that is I have found that if you don't on that embed, it tends to sometimes need you to refresh to find a show when it just starts streaming. And I didn't want that to be the case tomorrow. I wanted people, if the show was on, they didn't have to do anything. They didn't even have to refresh the page or anything like that. So that's why I chose to sort of have it autoplay, which is something I often am against outside of this particular instance. So if it's bothering you, sorry. Let me know. But I think that that's preferable to... Is it on? Is it not on? I don't know. Do I have to refresh? Why isn't it working? You know, that kind of thing. So. What daggers am I using? So, great question. I actually showed this off. These are particularly good for undead right now. And I realize I'm now level 14, so they're getting a little under level. But I was using the Barovian dagger in one hand with a Ruby of Flame in it. And then the other one is currently unslotted, but is another undead-focused Flotsam. So for this particular level at 14, when I've been doing a lot of stuff in, say, like the Orchard and that kind of thing, it's been a really good set of daggers to have. It's been quite useful. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Spicy. That is what happens when you talk to Fred. You choose which feat you want to swap out, and it gives you a chance to choose a replacement feat. I'm not quite sure what you're reporting. Sorry. Yeah, the Spectral daggers are really great, too. Oh, yeah, and they're the cosmetics of the Spectral daggers. Sorry, that's probably what the actual question was, wasn't it? Yeah, cosmetic Spectral daggers. I'm dual wielding them, glamour, just because I like the kind of purple look. It seems to go really well with this particular character. So, yep. All right, I think that is going to wrap it up then for the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. Hope you've had a good time watching. I will be back on tomorrow, Thursday, noon Eastern, right here on DDO Stream, twitch.tv/DDO Stream. We'll be doing a 12-hour anniversary event. In-game, out-of-game, having fun, hanging out with devs. Snow or no, it'll be going on. So hope you all have a good time. Stay tuned on DDO.com as we do have a lot of exciting announcements in the coming days and weeks. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Samus Garobo is up next, so stick around. Have fun.